Hey y'all, hey. Welcome to another episode of Thugging It Out. Thugging It Out is a platform where we create a safe space to acknowledge, experience, and overcome real life issues in a positive and healthy way. This week, we got a special guest, and it's going to be rather interesting. Today, I have my firstborn, my preteen, my oldest son, the first one to test my gangster, help me realize my full potential, and who was the force behind my determination, just my pure motivation. A third of my heart, Jermall. What's up, son? How you feeling?
Hey, Mom, I'm feeling.
All right, so go ahead and introduce yourself and tell the people, a little bit about you.
My name is Jermall Streeter. I'm 12 years old. I love arts. I have a trombone that I play. I'm pretty good at it, and I also love playing video games.
Okay, y'all, that's pretty that's Jamal in a nutshell. So today, me and my boy will dive a little deep. At the end of this episode, I want to get the perspective of my preteen to truly see how he sees the world and hopefully give a few parents some insight on, their youth brain. So first, I want to ask, how would you rate your life and what would you need to make it better? And Jamal, remember to be honest and that there's no wrong answer. Just, be open and candid.
Yes, ma'am. I think my life is a 10 out of 10 right now because I have everything I've ever wanted, and I also have everything I've ever needed. So I really think my life is a 10 out of 10.
What would you say that you need to make it better?
I don't need nothing because I have the best stepdad and the best mom ever to help me through all my problems.
What problems do you have? You since you opened that door, what problems do you say that you might have?
People at school, how to deal with certain things like getting mad at people. Y'all help me do a lot of things like when I don't know how to do something, y'all teach me how to do, like how you taught me how to cook and how Romeo taught me conversations about life.
Oh, okay. Well, what do you think as far as when it comes to school? How do you feel about it? By you being like in seventh grade in middle school, what's your take on it?
My really honest take is I really only go to school to learn, figure out new things, and that's really my only take about school. And of course, talk to my friends.
Okay. Um, I know you had mentioned just me and Romeo, but what are your feelings towards like your dad? And what is your take on that?
I love my dad. It's just I don't really know my dad, and my dad really doesn't know me. So I I love him because it's my dad, but I really don't know him.
And how does that make you feel? Because I mean, I always said I was going to keep the door open, just for you because at the end of the day, it still is your dad. But do it make you feel some type of way about, just the situation in general, or just you just feel kind of nonchalant about it?
Yeah, I feel that a lot.
Feel what a lot?
That my dad really only wants to talk to me just to see what's happening in the house and to
Really?
get reasons to get mad at Romeo because for some reason he has a problem with Romeo. Because when I do talk to him on the phone, really he always asks me what's happening in the house.
He don't speak to you about just you?
He does that sometimes, but most of the time it's just talking about what's happening in the house. What's happening?
Did that make you feel some type of way?
Yes, it makes me feel confused on why he really only wants to talk about what's in the house and not mostly about me.
Hmm.
And it makes me a little upset because he really doesn't. talk to me the way I really want him to talk to me.
And how is that?
I mean, it makes me upset, but it
I
is
mean,
what it
how
is.
how do you want him to speak to you? You said he don't speak to you how you want to speak to you.
Like how Romeo speaks to me, like that he actually loves me and likes me.
So you feel like your daddy don't love you or like you?
Yeah, because he really don't want to talk to me in a way. He really just wants to know what's happening. And it feels like every time I get on the phone with him, it's a reason why he hasn't called me or a reason why he has to go.
So, do you think that if you was to like to go see him or have that type of relationship, do you think that'll help, or do you think that you just don't really care to do it based off the phone conversations?
I really don't care to do it based off the phone conversations because it's going to be the same. It's just going to be like a hug and the rest is the same.
How did that make you feel, son? Because I grew up with a dad, so I understand like that type of dynamic. Do it make you feel some type of way that your situation is just phone conversations and then it's like kind of one-sided conversations?
Yeah, it makes me feel sad and like why did this happen to me?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's how it feels.
Well, me and you always have conversations where I tell you all the time that we are not in control of our cards that we are dealt. And sometimes we get a good hand and sometimes we get a bad hand, but it's not necessarily about the cards, it's kind of how you play them. So I always want you to remember that. Don't never internalize, your situation with your dad and that how it's really kind of only phone conversations and y'all truly don't really know each other. Never internalize it and just realize that that's the card that you was dealt, and some way somehow you still have a good hand.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that, or do you look at it that way? Can you?
Yes, ma'am. I look at that way. It was built into me throughout these years of my life where I really understand stuff.
Okay, I know you was like the only child for like 8 years. How do you feel about being the big brother? Like you gonna be the first one out the house. You're the oldest. You got the most experience with between you and your siblings. How do you feel about being a big brother?
See, at first, when I first got my little sister, I really didn't want to have a little sister. But
Yeah.
now that I'm older, I, I'm really happy that I have a great little sister and a great little brother because I get to help them learn, teach them things, and I just love kids. They're just so funny,
Oh yeah,
especially my little brother.
yeah. But do you sometimes wish that you were still the only child, or you kind of got over that?
I got over that like a long time ago.
What if I had like 10 more kids? Then what?
That's a whole different story.
Nah,
Uh,
that's you
that,
putting your foot down, huh?
yeah.
So, what would you say your take is with just life in general? Like, how do you look at the life? Because I know there's a lot of stuff going on. From like, I know you probably watch, see the news or just life in general is ever changing. How do you feel about the outside world and about what's going on?
I don't think it's fair.
Mm-hmm. What's fair?
Basically, how people be racist, and if somebody do the littlest thing, they go to jail for a lot of years, and
Yeah.
some people don't. Like they do stuff that's major, and they go to jail for a little bit of years.
Well, yeah. I mean, how do you feel about like the weather and just school or just really being down, living in, like, how do you feel about living in Tennessee? Because you kind of remember Chicago for the most part, because you kind of grew up there too.
Yeah, I like Tennessee, but the only problem about Tennessee is that, well, the couple problems that's about Tennessee is that first, I don't get to see a lot of my family because most of my family is in down north in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing is it's very hot in Memphis.
Yeah. You don't like the weather?
Yeah, it's too hot. I would rather be cold than hot.
So if we was to go back to Chicago, how would you feel about that?
I would rather stay here because I know Chicago is a dangerous city
Mm-hmm.
based off everything that's been happening on the news.
So you feel more safer down here,
Yes, ma'am.
even though it's hotter.
Yeah, I'd rather be more hot than not safe.
What about family though? How would you? I know lately, most recently, it's kind of just really been us, like our family that we created. We haven't really been having time or the space to really deal with extended family. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I'm fine because I can call them
Hmm.
and I can FaceTime them seeing their face, but I know I'm gonna eventually see them again.
Right. So it don't bother you.
Yes.
You like a easy going dude. You don't really care about nothing I see. Is that you just real, just go with the flow?
Yes, ma'am.
Um, how do you say what's the difference between you and like your friends? Or is there a difference? Because I know
Okay.
you guys are we can go ahead.
One thing is I'm more smarter than all my friends.
Hmm.
I have more strict parents than all my friends. Cause my friends' parents let them do basically anything.
And how do you feel about having strict parents? Do you feel like it make you want to just do what you want to do? Like I know sometimes it could be upsetting because you can't do the things that you want to do, but sometimes parents have to give you parameters and give you some type of boundaries. So how does that make you feel when you seem like the only person that can't do some of the things your friends do?
I mean, I know it's to help me because I'm pretty sure most of the people out there who had careless parents don't grow up to be something very great. And I want to become a great mechanical engineer or architect.
Hmm.
And it's going to take a lot of things instead of like going everywhere and basically working hard.
Yeah. But I mean, you don't get frustrated sometimes that your friends can do and get away with a lot of stuff and you can't.
I don't get frustrated. Well, I get frustrated, but not for long because I think about how it's going to help me when I get older.
Hmm.
So I just have to do what I was told.
Do any of friends' parents go through their phones?
They do, but if they do what people know when they're about to do
What you
it,
mean? Like they do it like once a week, so they know at the end of the week they gonna do it,
yes,
so they could be basically one step ahead of the parents.
yes.
See, y'all, parents, I am the type of parent, and Jermall is a witness, that I go through phones and I keep tabs on my kid because I don't know, it's a crazy world out here, and you kind of gotta know what's going on within these kids groups because correct me if I'm wrong, Jamal. A lot of these kids, they're not being 100% honest about what really goes down at school or when they're not under our care. Is that true?
That is true because I heard some kids on my bus once saying they have to hurry up and delete all the stuff that they were doing because their mom is gonna check their phone when they get home.
Yeah. I mean, so parents, my best advice to know what your kids doing. impromptu check their phones because the phones is crazy. Like me and Jermall had our little spiel with the phones, and Jermall didn't have his phone since like last year. Has it been almost a year since you ain't have a phone?
I think it's actually been a whole no. It's been like 6 months, I think.
Like 6 months. And
Yeah, cause I lost my phone in February, and it's now August, about to be September, so about 6 months.
and let's talk about that. Like I took your phone. I'm not gonna say the exact reason, but I gave you chance after chance to stop doing certain things and you decided not to. And I just had to do what was best for both of us to stop you from doing stuff. And how did that make you feel that you went 6 months without a phone at all?
I mean, I missed a lot of stuff,
What did you
but
miss?
like best friend wise,
All stuff that was going on within your friend groups.
yeah, I think I missed like a couple of birthdays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but besides that, I think I've been okay without a phone because I don't really need a phone.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I got a phone is to talk to my friends.
So with that being said, do you think you learned your lesson?
Yes, I learned my lesson 100%.
So you're not doing stuff you ain't got no business on that phone.
Yes, ma'am. I'm never doing that stuff again.
I mean, okay. I mean, I just want you to be open and honest because as your parent, I always find out.
Yeah, I'm still confused how you found out about a lot of stuff.
Just know, I always find out. But I know me and you had talked about you going to therapy. How do you feel about that? Are you excited for it? Do you think it's still necessary, or how do you feel about it?
I really don't really care about it
Mm-hmm.
because I think I'm fine now.
Why do you
But
think you fine now? What you mean?
because the situation my dad, like, y'all are basically my therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think y'all need to, like, pay money for a person that y'all can do. Because I think I would trust y'all more than a random person.
So you don't think that it's certain stuff that you want to say, possibly about me or about any or Ramil or anybody? You don't think that is something that you want to get off your chest, that you would rather say it to somebody else and not to us, or you feel 100% comfortable that you could speak your mind and speak your piece?
See, I feel about like 98% confident because it's like some of those days I get a little scared on what's going to happen if I do it. But since that was like a couple months ago, I think around my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm basically fine to tell y'all anything. Anything that happens at school, anything that happens at home, anything.
So you feel 100% comfortable talking to us,
Yes, ma'am.
and you don't be scared. You don't feel like you be holding back, or it's something that you just know you can't say because you might get in trouble or something like that, or you just 100% confident you could say any and everything.
I'm confident, very confident, at least now.
Okay. I mean, I'm trying to tell you, I always said that you are 12 now, so we got 6 more years and you're getting older. So it's time that I continuously change the way that we're, raising you and giving you more of a space to do what you want to do and voice your opinion on how you feel. However, it is still the basis of respect there. And just like I expect you to respect me, I give you the same respect. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am. I
So,
agree 100%.
say for instance, you had a friend and they weren't able to, they didn't feel comfortable speaking to their parents, what advice would you give their parents to make them feel more comfortable with talking to them?
Be open to their child like y'all was open to me, because at first I was kind of scared, but then after we had those like millions of talks,
Hmm.
I felt more open.
So I'm gonna just say how I handled the situation. I feel like with you, you could correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like me and you just started having me, you and Romeo start having like these round table talks where we were just speaking freely about any and everything from, girls, from school, from personal feelings, from confidence to respect. We just kind of opened the floor to kind of have an open discussion where we all kind of put our 2 cents in, and it really wasn't a right or wrong answer, but also we opened the floor to Jermall to speak on how he felt and what was bothering him, and we learned not to take things personal. And Jermall that's one of the things that I constantly tell him, that throughout this world that we can't take things personal, and that sometimes things happen, people say things that it's not even about us. Sometimes it's really about them. So taking things personal is something that you never want to do. Would you agree? Is that how it went down in your perspective?
Yes, it is, because I still remember those talks where we sat on the couch, or after we got done eating, or sitting by the island. We talked about those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I even talked with y'all one on one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is 100% true.
Yeah. So, how would you, what advice would you give parents about letting their kids do certain things or with punishment? Like, how long do you think punishment should last? Or do you think that there should be no punishment?
I think there should be a punishment, but it honestly depends on the child.
Okay.
Like if it's something they've been doing over and over again, like I used to do for like that's been going on for years, at least a month, and that's at
Okay.
least. And if they like did it for the first time, do a week, then see how they've been doing. Then if they got worse or if they got better, let them get their stuff back, or continue to keep taking their stuff for however long it takes them to stop doing it.
For you personally, you have been on punishment and you also had um physical punishment. Do you think whoopings or physical punishment work, or do you think just punishment as far as taking things away work? Which one do you think is more helpful?
In my opinion,
Or
it's like,
neither?
I think the one thing that did help me like a lot was writing almost the whole dictionary and writing lines.
Why is that?
Because I, when I had to write, I think 10,000 lines on I Will Stop Lying, I
Mm-hmm.
had to keep writing the words over and over for I think more than a week. In a
Mm-hmm.
dictionary, the same thing, and it was just made me crazy. My
To
arms was aching. It was basically a physical punishment and regular punishment.
and it kind of helped you stop lying.
Yes,
Why do you think you was lying in the first place?
because I didn't want to get in trouble. Because I remember when I was little, it used to be whoopings because I don't think I had a lot of technology when I was little.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really just whoopings. And throughout the years till I was like 8 years old,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I think I started learning like a lot. And I just didn't want to get in trouble, and I was scared that I was gonna get a whooping.
So it's fear. So whoopings really don't work. You think it's like a mind thing that kind of forces you to lie.
Yes. Well, that was the old time. It's
Okay. So new wise, you know that there's no need to lie. That you could just be honest from the gate.
yeah, 100%.
Okay. Well, do you have anything that you want to add that you think either kids or parents should know about their preteens?
Uh, a lot of kids be doing what they're not supposed to on their phone.
Mm-hmm.
So you should probably want to check their phone randomly without them knowing.
Okay. Now, when some of your peers get on you, they're gonna be like, "Really?" But I know you don't care because when I tell y'all that my son is like one of the best kids out here, he really is because at 12, kids are really advanced. Like in middle school, Jermall has witnessed kids already smoking and indulging in activities that you think shouldn't even happen until like high school. So, parents, if you have a child that's kind of just really staying a child and not really indulging in all the extra, you gotta really be grateful for it because these kids out here is wild. Am I lying, Jamal?
No, because some of these kids at my table was talking, like at my lunch table last year, was talking about some real inappropriate stuff.
Mm-hmm. And last year you was in sixth grade.
Yes, and that was just in 6th grade. Like 5th grade was okay because really nobody was doing nothing. But the transition to 6th grade, that's when like everybody started doing these outrageous and crazy things.
And I could second that. I feel like at 11, that's kind of where the shift begins, parents. And it's going to be a continuous shift, probably all the way into the end of high school. And I feel like the best way to conquer it is to give your kids the space to talk to you and for you just to both be open to change because everybody is consistently changing. Anything else you would like to add, Jamal?
Not really.
You sure? This is your episode.
Positive.
Okay, y'all. Well, I really wish that everyone have a good week and make sure that you guys talk to these kids because I feel like that's something that we as parents are not doing. We might be taking care of our kids financially, but a lot of us do not know who our children are or what's going on in their heads and how they truly feel. Because just like we're going through a lot, they are as well. So make sure you give your kids some attention and make sure you give them the space to speak freely. And that brings us to the end of our episode. Remember to be grateful, be blessed, be thankful, but most importantly, keep thugging it out. Peace. Go ahead, tell the people about your mom.
Bye and have an amazing week and day.
Peace.